Hello and welcome back to WION World is One. I'm Kanishka Sarkar and you have tuned into Speed News. Let's get started with all the stories making headlines at this hour. US President Donald Trump said he wants to separate talks on the conflict in Lebanon and those on the war between the United States. This comes as Israel and Lebanon have agreed to implement a ceasefire following negotiations in Washington that are aimed at ending the war that flared up alongside the war in Iran. According to a joint statement released with the US, the ceasefire is contingent on a complete cessation of fire from Iran-backed Hezbollah. The two sides, which do not have formal diplomatic relations, also agreed to create pilot zones in which the Lebanese armed forces will take exclusive control of the territory to the exclusion of all non-state actors. The Republican-led U.S. House of Representatives approved a resolution to block President Donald Trump from continuing the war against Iran. The House voted 215 to 208 as 4 Republicans voted with Democrats in favor of the War Powers Resolution. The War Powers Resolution directs Trump to withdraw U.S. troops from Iran unless Congress declares war or authorizes the use of military force. President Donald Trump said that talks with Iran could yield results over the coming weekend and are going very well. This even as Iran's foreign minister said that no tangible progress has been made in negotiations to end the West Asia conflict, as fresh US and Iranian strikes strained a fragile ceasefire. The U.S. military attacked a boat accused of smuggling drugs in the eastern Pacific Ocean, killing 2 men. The latest attack brings the number of people who have been killed in a boat strike by the U.S. military to at least 207 since the administration began targeting those it calls narco-terrorists in early September. The U.S. Southern Command said it targeted the alleged drug traffickers along known smuggling routes. The military did not provide evidence that the vessel was ferrying drugs. A video posted on X showed a boat speeding through the water before bursting into flames. Authorities say 1 person is dead and another injured after a train struck semi-truck in Iowa. The crash occurred at the crossing of a state highway and the Iowa Interstate Railroad in a rural area. Two advisory board members for the Stars and Stripes military newspaper are suing the Pentagon. They have alleged that the Defense Department's overhaul of the publication is undermining its editorial independence. The lawsuit asks a federal judge to block the Pentagon's efforts to exert unprecedented control over the news outlet, arguing that the department is attempting to censor its content. Three people were killed and 7 others were injured as a result of an attack by the Ukrainian armed forces in Crimea. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said earlier that Kyiv had struck key Russian facilities in overnight attacks, including St. Petersburg oil terminal. Zelensky wrote on X that the facility is located about 1,100 kilometers from Ukraine's border, highlighting Kyiv's long-range strike capabilities. Following Ukrainian strikes deep into Russia, Moscow has warned Western nations that it is prepared to use nuclear weapons if the West attempts to invade Russian territory. Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov has said that an attack on Russia's territorial integrity could lead to a nuclear response in the worst-case scenario. He added that Moscow's adversaries should not test its resolve to defend itself with all the means at its disposal. China has barred 4 New Zealand lawmakers from entering the mainland, Hong Kong and Macau for a year after they visited Taiwan in May. The New Zealand Herald newspaper said the Chinese embassy notified Parliament that Laura McClure, David Wilson and Maureen Pugh from parties in the ruling centre-right coalition and opposition Labour lawmaker Duncan Webb were subject to the ban. The Chinese embassy told New Zealand Parliament officials that travel ban could be reduced or waived if lawmakers apologized for the trip. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense says it detected 32 sorties of People's Liberation Army aircraft, 10 People's Liberation Army Navy vessels and 5 official Chinese ships operating around the island as of 6 a.m. local time. According to the ministry, 25 of the aircraft crossed the median line of Taiwan Strait and entered Taiwan's northern, central, southwestern and eastern air defense identification zone. Taiwan said its armed forces closely monitored the activity and responded accordingly. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung's party has won a resounding victory in key local elections. Lee's Democratic Party secured at least 12 of 16 major posts in elections for provincial governors and mayors. The opposition People Power Party, or PPP, which took 12 of 17 posts in the last election 4 years ago, so far has only secured 1 post in the traditionally conservative city of Daegu and another in the surrounding North Gyeongsang province. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un visited a newly operational nuclear material production facility and called for an exponential expansion of the country's atomic arsenal. Kim said production capacity for weapons-grade nuclear material had reached more than double its previous level over the past 5 years. He instructed officials to further increase output to meet long-term strategic goals. During the visit, Kim was briefed on new production processes incorporating more advanced technology and reviewed current output targets and future plans. In Santiago, a Chilean student was injured as protests against President Kast turned violent. At least 1 student was injured and carried away by police during violent clashes at a national strike in Santiago. Protesters threw Molotov cocktails and Chilean police fired water cannons and tear gas. Bolivian police dislodged community members that had seized control of an oil facility in Bolivia's Santa Cruz region. The police officers used tear gas to disperse protesters who had seized the site a day earlier with calls for resignation of President Rodrigo Paz. Bolivian Vice President said that he, along with the Legislative Commission, will go to the presidential residence to talk to Rodrigo Paz if he does not attend the talks aimed at addressing the political crisis. Tens of thousands of people marched to Argentina's Congress to protest high rates of violence against women. The uproar was witnessed following the killing of a 14-year-old girl in the province of Córdoba that has shocked the country. Sweden is considering a major shift in how it tackles youth crime. This comes as the country is battling with rising gang violence involving children and teenagers. According to officials, gang-related shootings and bombings have surged over the past decade, and most of these attacks are carried out by minors. Police estimate there are around 17,500 active gang members and another 50,000 associates across the country. Authorities say the criminal networks are increasingly recruiting youngsters through social media. Amnesty International called on the Greek authorities to ban police from using stun grenades during demonstrations, saying they cause serious physical and psychological harm. A report by the rights group said 30 people interviewed by researchers claimed police had fired the grenades directly at demonstrators and journalists. It said 17 people had claimed they were hit on the head with batons. "21 people, including 12 foreign nationals, have been killed in the devastating fire incident at a hotel in New Delhi. This comes as the Delhi police has arrested the owner of the Flower Stay B&B hotel. The owner has been identified as Lavkesh Bajaj. During an interrogation with the police, Bajaj said that he has increased the number of rooms in his hotel to expand his business. According to the owner, several Indians and foreigners avail medical treatment from renowned hospitals located near the hotel. Bajaj added that the attendants of the patients stay at his hotel, owing to the lower rates, which has helped his business flourish. A massive fire broke out at a private hospital in Muzaffarpur in Bihar. The incident occurred at the ICU ward of Prasad Hospital in the wee hours of Thursday. According to reports, multiple patients have been killed in the incident. Meanwhile, firefighting teams have successfully brought the blaze under control. The 2026 Char Dham Yatra is witnessing an overwhelming response, with footfall crossing 29 lakh in just the first 44 days of the pilgrimage. Millions of devotees are actively gathering for prayers at Badrinath and Kedarnath, leading to a massive surge in footfall across the sacred circuit. A museum in Georgia's oldest city welcomed a truckload of treasuries from the earliest period of U.S. history. Experts believe 17 cannons sank to the bottom of the Savannah River during the American Revolution and remained undiscovered for nearly 240 years. On to updates from the world of tech. AI-driven data centers could double their electricity and water consumption by 2030, according to a new United Nations report. The study warns that rapid AI expansion could put growing pressure on natural resources, including water, land, and energy supplies. Last year, data centers used 448 terawatt-hours of electricity globally, with AI accounting for about 20% of that demand. By 2030, total power consumption is expected to reach 945 terawatt-hours, while water use could more than double to 9.3 trillion litres. The European Parliament is replacing Google with French search engine Quant as its default search service in a move aimed at reducing dependence on US technology companies. From June 4th, Quant will become the default search engine on Microsoft Edge and Mozilla Firefox browsers used by the Parliament, though users will still be able to choose other search engines if they wish. The decision is part of a broader European effort to promote social, local digital services and privacy-focused technology. Britain's competition watchdog has imposed new requirements on Google's search business, giving publishers more control over their content is used in AI-powered search features. The Competition and Markets Authority said publishers will be able to stop their content from being used to train or power certain Google AI search tools, while still remaining visible in traditional search results. The regulator also wants Google to clearly attribute content used in AI-generated answers, including links to news organizations and other publishers. Moving on to updates from the world of business, the US-India trade agreement is reportedly 99% complete, with both sides now working through final technical hurdles. US Ambassador to India, Sergey Gore, has said that only the last 1% remains, even as he is set to meet Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal tomorrow to push discussions forward. The talks come amid India's efforts to align the deal with upcoming US tariff changes, while Washington has also proposed a 12.5% tariff on certain Indian imports. Officials say the measures are not final, with negotiations and consultations still underway. High-conviction Bitcoin investors are reportedly selling portions of their holdings as the cryptocurrency slips to new lows, signaling growing caution in the market. The move suggests that even long-term holders are taking profits or cutting exposure amid renewed volatility and weakening price momentum. Analysts say the selling pressure reflects a shift in sentiment after Bitcoin's recent rally lost steam, with traders now reassessing risk as uncertainty rises across crypto markets. The trend highlights increased fragility in the confidence even among traditionally strong hold-and-wait investors. A global memory chip shortage driven by strong artificial intelligence demand is tightening supply across autos, electronics, and medical devices. Trade groups warn AI data centers are absorbing a large share of available chips, pushing up prices and limiting access for manufacturers. In a letter to US officials, industry bodies have called for expanding chip production capacity to protect other sectors from disruption. They say higher costs are already reaching consumers and supply chains, while shortages could persist as AI demand continues to grow rapidly. EU steel exporters are warning of a sharp hit to trade after the United States moved to double tariffs on steel imports, a step that could reduce shipments from the bloc by around 34%, according to industry estimates. The European steel industry says the higher duties would significantly weaken export competitiveness and strain producers already facing weak demand. The move adds fresh tension to transatlantic trade relations and raises concerns over further disruptions in global metals market.